Hi everybody, this is Derek with Ted Lare Garden Center, and I have Melissa filming behind the camera.
Hey guys!
Today we're going to talk about how to tell if your plant has too much water or not enough water. And this video is a part of our houseplant series we're going to release every Wednesday. So we're also going to try to answer all your questions about watering as well, and I just kind of say it like that because it's kind of a bigger topic in the houseplant world, so I'll do the best I can. The first thing is how do you tell if there's a problem with your houseplant? And the first thing you want to look for is yellowing leaves, which is going to be the symptom for both underwatering and overwatering actually. So it's all about where the yellow leaves form. Most of the time, if you're looking at a plant like this or even like this, because these are succulents, I'll talk about those in a second because they have their own set of rules. These yellowing leaves in the middle is more likely to be overwatering than underwatering. If there's a lot of yellow leaves kind of forming toward the top and toward the middle, that would be where it's the opposite. That's kind of underwatering. The first thing you want to do is check to see how the pot feels, to see which one of them it is. So I'll pick it up. Let's say I've been watering this once a week and it feels heavy and I'm seeing a lot of yellowing leaves. More likely than not, it's overwatering. And one of the other ways to tell is you can kind of pop this out. I'm actually going to go ahead and give that a try. And you can see how the roots look furry, nice, and white. That's a good sign. That means that this plant is in good health. So if this plant had dark roots, or I kind of moved them and they easily split apart, and they're grayish in color, that means overwatering. So that's another way to tell. So overwatering plants, it's very hard to recover from. I wanted to mention that one too, because you have a lot of root fungal diseases that go in there, and it's kind of hard to get a plant to come back from that part, unfortunately. With an underwater plant, if it's severely dry, let's say most of the leaves are yellow, the plant is very shriveled up, I would almost, rather than just sprinkling some water over that, because the soil is going to shrink so much in there, you're going to want to soak it for about 20 minutes until you see the leaves start to kind of unfold a little bit. And the next day it should recover, clean up all the yellowing leaves, and then the plant is good to go and return back to a normal watering schedule.
When you say soak it, what do you mean by that?
Oh, good question. So fill a bucket 1/4 of the way full with water and put it in the bucket, and it will soak up, and you'll see the soil turning dark in color. I think I'll go over these, and then I'll go over kind of some tips for watering week to week. So that's your tropical part for overwatering, underwatering. Now succulents, because they're a lot different. These are dry loving plants, and they can go a lot longer between watering before they need to be watered. So for underwater on these, now some succulents are naturally bright in color, but the color gets more intense, especially if they're in a sunny, dry window, and you'll see that the leaves will actually get wrinkly. Succulents can recover from being underwatered very easily just by returning back to a regular watering schedule. I would say maybe 1 to 2 weeks afterwards, the color goes back to normal and the leaves unwrinkle from what I noticed, sometimes a little sooner. For overwatering on these, one thing I want to mention that if these are overwatered, they're done. They don't really recover. I haven't had good luck. What about you?
No, if you overwater these guys, I always say give succulents less love.
Yeah,
Loving
so
them means neglecting them sometimes.
you really want to be on the dry side with these. So for overwatering, what it looks like is a lot of the times, a lot of the leaves will start falling off, or they'll just start falling out of the pot when there's no roots attached to it.
They can be really mushy.
Yeah, and mushy. Those are the signs that you've overwatered those. And for that, I wouldn't even, maybe at that point it's time to take cuttings. I don't think I would try to save it unless you want to have yourself an extra long trip with that. But go ahead and restart with cuttings on that one. So that's kind of for that part. I just kind of wanted to give a few tips for the week-to-week watering to hopefully try to help you with that part of it. So a lot of people are like, well, maybe I should water once a week. The problem is everybody's house is different. So my house might be on the dry side where I run the heat a lot and the heater dries the plants out faster. Or maybe you have your house cooler or the plants are in a shadier part. They wouldn't need to be watered that much and that would be too much. So I'll just tell you that it's not about how much. I could put a gallon of water on this plant, but if I do that twice a week, that's where where we say it's too much. So it's not actually the quantity, it's kind of more how often. So when you water your plant, either succulent or tropical, put water on it until it goes out the bottom of the pot. If you have it in a saucer, again, wait till you see water running out the bottom. Empty the saucer after about 10 minutes or so. get rid of the extra water, and then wait till the pot is dry again before you water it again. If you follow that rule with most any houseplant, you should be successful. And wait till it's dry is, if you pick it up right after you water it, so that way you know how heavy it is when it's moist. And then as the week goes on, pick it up again. You'll notice that as it gets drier, it gets lighter, and pretty soon you'll be able to just go like this, yeah, that plant needs water, and you won't even have to do these other methods I'm about to tell you. Another way to do it is to put your finger in the soil if you're really unsure, and you can use multiple methods, especially as you're learning it. The more, the better, I guess I would say. If the soil feels wet, wait another day before you check it again. Those are the two most keys that I use. Do you use anything extra at home, Melissa?
That's pretty much what I do. I usually use the feel method. I have an awful lot of plants at my house. I think I'm over 130 right now, and so they're definitely more of a touch basis at my house, and feel, and things are checked, every couple of days pretty much at my house.
Okay, and see, this is where it's different, because at my house, I just watered last night. I probably have 20, but I have like hundreds around here I take care of, so I'm going to count those as mine too. But so I water mine like once every other week, because I have mostly succulents right now, looking to get back into the tropicals, but I have to wait till I have a less hungry cat on it. So that's kind of the methods on the overwatering and underwatering. Hopefully this video helped you learn that part of it. You can always ask us any questions in person. We're happy to answer any questions like that on Facebook, or call in, or just stop by too. So I'm going to end this video there, and thanks for watching. See ya.